Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Talking About the Big Stuff podcast with Michael Cole and Matthew Cravat. I am Michael Cole.
And I am Matthew Cravat.
So tonight we're going to talk about skepticism. We're going to talk about what I was thinking of as kind of the flip side. So why don't I explain real quick what I mean by that?
Yes, you should, because I have no fucking idea.
So I think when we think about skepticism, we think about ruling out information. So we think, oh, that's, Alex told us that that there was a blue alien that created the Jewish space lasers, and we're like, no,
Blue,
and we're they're always green, we know, but he's obsessed with Avatar, so no, but we think about ruling that information out, and that being skepticism, which it is if you go do the research to show that is not true, or being
don't
skeptical
accept
of
a
that.
big claim without big evidence to back it up.
Right. But the other side of things is, I think sometimes people dismiss. This happened to me a couple weeks ago. People dismiss information with just because it's not something they've ever heard of before, without any real evidence. And I'm like, well, let's find out if it's real. Like there's no reason why it couldn't be real. So the example I'll give is there was a video online of a tornado on fire, like a fire tornado.
Ooh, fire-nado.
And I was like, it was a meme. It was a meme, and I was showing the meme to somebody. I think the meme was when I piss off.
You didn't say friend.
It was family.
Somebody.
I was visiting
a stranger.
It's a random person on the train. He didn't say friend.
It was not. I have friends. They're on this call right now. So it was.
Think that
the fire tornado is part of a meme, and that was why I was showing, not because I thought it was real, because I was like, oh, it's part of, there's a funny meme about like what happens when I piss my girlfriend off or something. I don't know. And I just thought it was funny. And I said, I wonder if that's a real thing, the fire tornado. And the person said, Mike, that is absolutely like not a real thing. And I was like, well, how do you know that? Like, it's not something I've heard about, but it's not something that seems like impossible. I started to look, and he's like, it's not real. I don't know why you're even, and he was unwilling to even entertain the thought that it could be real. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what I found. Tornadoes won't catch on fire by themselves, but if they go over a strong enough fire while in their path, they can suck the fire up, and there's enough oxygen to keep the fire going. And so that is possible. And he goes, well, it's that one that you showed me is not real. And I'm like, how do you know that? I'm like, and I was like, this is the opposite side of
that's
good
not
skepticism.
Skepticism as much as that's cynicism.
Cynicism, yeah.
Right. So it's cynicism when I refuse to believe something despite the evidence. And
sure. Okay.
The research,
Yeah.
So like a good skeptic would say, I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
And I may not care to look it up because I don't care one way or the other, but you shouldn't make a call one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that was my thought, was like, it wouldn't have surprised me either way if I had Googled it and it was like, of course there's no fucking fire tornadoes. Or if I had Googled it and they were like,
I feel like if it went over like an oil spill that was on fire and whipped up, it'd be like fucking flying napalm. Like, I don't know. Like,
or
I would say,
or the California wildfires.
Right. I guess it could be on a natural occurring friction causes the wind to catch on fire.
Yeah.
But a tornado over something that's flaming, why couldn't some of it go in the? I don't know why it couldn't.
Yeah, and so that was, and I was like, oh, this is a good topic for us to talk about, because I do think, as a default, when we think about skepticism, we think about ruling out information and not ruling in information. And that's not to say we have to do that, but like sometimes I'm like, why did you just dismiss it without any thought?
Yeah. Well, it's about falsifying, falsibility, the ability to be falsified.
Falsifiable information.
Yeah, it has to be falsifiable. I was trying to get a noun out of that, and I couldn't get there with it. I couldn't get there to a noun. Too many combinations.
Matthew buffered what his internet didn't for once.
he had to load.
You have a claim. Can it be falsified? Well, let's try to falsify it and see. And if you can, that doesn't prove it's true, but it takes away the I'm sure it's not true.
I mean,
exactly.
I almost always try to find the lack of truth first, and it probably drives. I know it drives Holly crazy. Is I'm always saying, but could it? Can both be, can both be true, but is it really that? And she's like, it's not that. I'm like, but I'm now curious. I want to know about the other side of this.
Well, I think the interesting one in the world right now is the Epstein file.
Yeah.
Where for years it was just, this is a conspiracy theory and it's crazy. And now that Trump is so not wanting to release it, like, well, now,
right.
Like, why are we so adamant that? I mean, I don't think there's a list of here's people who fuck kids with me today. I don't like a Dear Diary.
Dear Diary. It's like it's the Doogie Howser like ending. Like, and that's why I'm glad Donald came with me to the island this week.
Or it sounds like an opening to Wonder Years when it's Fred Savage doing the voiceover while we have the other stuff in the background, like they're getting on a plane.
What a horrible trope that is, because I was thinking like my wife's always watching Sex in the City, always such with Carrie writing her comment.
Yeah.
Today's the day that Don and I fucked a bunch of kids.
Don.
Are you talking about?
I don't know which side of the conspiracy to be on now, because suddenly the evidence that the fact that he doesn't want to release anything makes me think there's something there that I didn't think there was something there before.
Yeah,
I think that I never thought that it was. So I think there's the Epstein Files is a great place to start, because I think that the idea of a greater conspiracy is a greater conspiracy theory and nothing there.
Yeah.
And I think that I've always kind of been like, it would surprise me if it was as conspiracy theory as it got.
I do not believe there's a list. I'll be very surprised, because I do not currently believe there is a list.
Like a genuine document of some kind. No.
From him. Now, if you say in the prosecutor's files, they made a list of things they found from different evidence of people they suspect having been there and done things based on
the airport logs
and effort, blah, 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 blah. And they made, here's a list of people who are unindicted co-conspirator suspects that we should investigate, and it got buried.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of list might exist, but there's not like a, me and my friends at summer camp had fun, screwing 12-year-olds list.
Yeah. Well, Don in a interview in the early 2000s, he was asked how young he would go, and he specifically said 12 was too young. That was the number he pulled.
Because it doesn't have teen in it yet. It makes him feel even.
It's got to be teen. It's creepy if it's not a teen.
Right.
He said, "Well, I definitely wouldn't go 12," and I was like,
"You were 10 years off on the right answer."
The answer for me is adult.
Yeah. I think we start at legal adult as the bare minimum.
They better look old at that point.
And I still think like you and I, Alex, are in our 40s. Matthew, you're in your 50s.
Handsome devil.
I think, and I've said this before, I think that 18 is too young for all of us. Well, it's not legally. I think it's ethically.
16 is not legally too young in North Carolina, buddy.
I said not legally.
I know. I don't know. You picked 18. 16 in North Carolina.
No, but 18 is like law of the land everywhere.
No,
like that's the base.
That's a made up thing. It's different in every state.
No, but an 18-year-old everywhere in America.
No, you're wrong. There are some states where there's your age and their age. If you're 21 and they're 18, that's too much of a difference. Like if you're 19 and 18, there are states where it's not just a red line of an age.
Sure.
There's like if you're 21 and they're 18, that age difference is statutory rape.
I thought it was 21 and 17.
Maybe.
I think 18 is the bare minimum.
I haven't done as much research about sleeping with 18-year-olds as you have.
Let's go to the archives of this podcast where you start breaking down my sorority, my fraternity, and
North Carolina rules, so we wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Look, I'm pretty confident that 18-year-olds everywhere in America, if they are of sound mind and not intoxicated, can consent to have sex with anyone else over 18,
including you.
Legally,
look. So the fact that even though Matthew is being pedantic in this, it's upsetting that he can make a joke out of being pedantic, because that means it's not that obvious federally across all.
My personal rule, my entire life has been about a year. I don't think I've been with anyone who was more than a year younger than me.
Okay.
Like even in college, when I was like a junior in college, and I had a class like a PE class that anyone could be in, and there was like a freshman in the class or something, or some elective like that, I'd be like, she's going to be cute in a couple of years. Like I couldn't even look at a freshman when I was a junior and think they were, if they were at my fraternity party, I was like, oh, she's cute for a kid. I've never been attracted to anyone more than a year younger than me, like in real life. Not about a model or something like that. I think a good general rule that's for to avoid the creepy factor, not legal factor, but creepy factor,
half plus seven.
Half plus seven. I think half plus seven makes a good sense in a non-creepy way, allowing for no pressure politics kind of thing, like you're their teacher, you're their boss, all those other things that bring pressure into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Empowered.
I think that we can keep our canned credentials where we are right now. I think we're good for our.
And the producer says we're stopping there.
I thought I was. Anyway. Anyway,
you just hit the jackpot, Tiger.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway, so ruling things in is where let's get back to that kind of skepticism.
So I am a big fan of the definition of skepticism being every day wanting to be less wrong than you were the day before.
Yeah.
So like if you're ruling something out or in, either way, your goal is not to prove you're right or that your assumption is right, but to find out if you're right, pressure test if you're right. So if you're not right, you can be less wrong in that one topic.
I like that test or that definition. I also think like we're in especially because of internet and everything else, we're being inundated with incredible, meaning
I have never been inundated by somebody more than a year younger than me.
Inundated by incredible stories every day. And by incredible, I mean sometimes non-credible, like the literal definition of incredible. And so sometimes like there is actual wild shit that happens in the world, and there is.
And who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Trustbusters.
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of the commercial within the movie where sometimes weird things happen, and who are you going to call?
I don't remember that line. I remember
you were right. You were very close to it. You weren't. It wasn't verbatim, but you were very close.
Busting does make me feel good. So.
Busting makes me feel good.
Anyway. But I mean, like we're also, by the way, Alex shared the Fire Whirl Wikipedia into the chat on YouTube.
I did.
And I'll put it in the show notes. But anyway, I'll let one of you take over for a few about like an idea, maybe an example or a way that you think about this flip side of it, because we've talked about it in other skeptic episodes. The idea of ruling out bad information.
I've made a habit to surround myself with people I don't agree with as a way to challenge myself to think about another alternative idea, plan, scope of something, right? And I always thought that was a good way, because they're going to have dissenting opinions to your own. You're going to have them come up in conversation. If the two of you start at that even level where both of you know you don't agree, it's going to naturally come up, and then you have the opportunity to challenge yourself outside of that conversation and start digging and doing some reading and doing some watching and meeting other people with that same alternative ideal to your own. It's caused me to challenge some of the things that I've thought in the past, because if I'm only surrounded by people that I like and agree with, it's boring. I need conflict in my life to challenge the edges of my understanding.
Yeah. So as we have talked about many times before, I have a conservative family.
Sorry to hear that.
And I wish that they weren't as conservative as they are either, but they're
but it made you a skeptic.
Yeah, somewhat.
Didn't quite flow back into the show, but I mean, I tried.
Some of the things that programmed into you set you up for whatever eventually happened.
Very true.
Like every little piece counts.
Yeah, but they claim shit all the time that they've heard on Fox, and I like to think that Fox is the worst, and that they're not on Newsmax. But it's probably not. But I haven't heard any. I'm going to give your family the benefit of the doubt and say
they see Newsmax and on like their YouTube feed, so they see
Yeah,
clips
I was
of
about
it,
to say they
but
see
they're
the
not
clips
like
of it on
watching the channel live.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's great that you think that any of my family is watching stuff on YouTube. Like the people, the conservatives of my family are all old,
I don't
like
use the
news.
devil box.
No, I'm sure they do other stuff, watch other stuff on YouTube, but it's like, like silly stuff. They're getting their news and punditry from TV, like from cable. And so,
Cape.
yeah,
Fucking archaic shit.
You're right.
yeah,
Cape.
I'm aware. So anyway, but I'm constantly fielding these things, and I'm also picking apart because like sometimes Fox News doesn't just report fake shit, and so like sometimes they may have said something that is true. Like like there's certain times I'm like, that doesn't even sound like it's possible. Like luckily no one in my family believes, for example, that the kids aren't Michelle and Barack's kids, and they don't. No, I've never heard anybody in my family say that
Michelle's not a woman.
That she's not a woman. But what I have heard is that she was disbarred for racism against white people, and I'm like, that. I mean, that doesn't sound A, like a thing that happens, and B,
Like, it
like,
doesn't sound like a thing that happened.
The main way you get disbarred is by billing issues with your clients. Like cheating someone is like that's like 80% of disbars is like is cheating, because they don't really care what else you do.
Yeah, and I will say that this was years ago that I heard this stupid claim, and I do not remember the exact details that I found. Obviously, it's fake, but I don't remember if like she doesn't have a active license or what. Like there's always like some nugget that they're
part
building
of a law practice, and
right.
They're in DC, and she's not licensed to practice law in DC because she's not from DC.
Right, and there's like always that side of things, and I'm sometimes you're hearing stuff, a lot of times you're trying to disprove because you just want to not believe the thing, which is very often true with Fox News stuff that I hear from other people. I'm like, well, I don't want to believe that, but I am open to the idea that Fox News occasionally reports things. I don't want to say correctly, but like facts. They report facts occasionally.
I mean, all good conspiracies have to have a shred of truth.
I think that
I like how I said good conspiracy, like it's something we're going for, like a quality control.
I don't know that I even believe that though. Like I think that there's some shit is just so wild that I'm like, I don't even see where the nugget is. But I think there is some cases like
I see where the nugget is. Nugget.
A couple years ago, my mom doesn't watch Fox News, but my dad has it on, and she'll be making dinner behind the couch where he's watching it or whatever. So she gets it by osmosis, and she starts telling me about this story about a man who was exposing himself to children, and
fucking preachers,
and the judge once I tell you the whole story, I'm like, oh my god. And the judge in the case,
Retzel.
Like the judge in the case let him go. I don't know who Lance Retzel
is. I know.
The judge in the case.
When you were like 5, were you not watching the news about football players in Dallas? Come on.
No. So the judge in this case about this guy exposing himself, the judge let him go because the guy was so fat that his penis wasn't visible. Like wasn't visible to his victims. So he was let go. And I'm like, and I was driving. Logan's asleep in the back.
That's true. That was the Michelin Man. I remember.
No.
That's how he got the job with Michelin.
I'm on the phone with my mom, and I'm like, Mom, does that sound like a thing that really happened? She goes, I heard it on the news. And I'm like, does that sound like a thing that could actually happen? She goes, crazy stuff happens all the time. And I'm like, Mom. I said, I'm driving. I cannot look it up right now, but when I get home, I'm going to look it up, and I will let you know tomorrow morning, because I was getting home at midnight or whatever. Like, I will let you know tomorrow because what I find, because like this doesn't sound like a thing that could possibly happen in our system. So I get home and I look, and I'm not having any luck finding based on man exposing too fat to see penis. I'm looking up all those things.
Your poor algorithm, man exposing too fat for penis.
and I'm finding nothing. So finally I go to like foxnews.com, because I'm like, if I find the Fox News story about it, I can get better I can get the name of the person or whatever to look up the information. So I do. I find the story. I pull the name from the because the person's name was a public thing at that point because it's in a court case, and I Google it. It was a trans woman who was changing in a locker room and was in the corner with like towels up so that they wouldn't be disrupting anybody. They were changing very quickly and in the corner, and a person filed a complaint against them, and the judge said they were very clearly not doing it to expose themselves, as evident by other witnesses and the fact that they were the way that they were doing it, and no one saw anything because of they were taking care not to be seen. And
so
the
you're
person
saying fat and towels look the same, and your mother just can't tell the difference?
No, because the Fox News people said it was because she was fat, and she was. First of all, she wasn't as fat as I am.
Duh.
It's so like, but like Fox News, when they talk about trans people, not only do they have to like misgender them,
And
they have to also have to attack their appearance. Like that, they have
It
to.
Can't
do
be
that.
like an attractive trans person. No, that doesn't
right,
exist.
No, right, exactly. So they're doing this, and I was like, Mom, this is the real story. And and she goes, so was a man exposing themselves to children? I said,
oh, she went there. Okay.
No, because she didn't understand what I was saying.
Oh, okay. It's like, so it's a man.
And I was like,
Mike.
No, and I was
nobody was exposing to anybody.
And I said, this story is the same as the one Fox News presented in the sense that like a girl going on a killing spree after kills one sister goes and finds and hunts down her other sister and kills her to steal the shoes and I was like, and it's like this gripping thing.
He's on down the road. Come
and
on, he's on down the road.
Is that from The Wiz?
Carry nothing that might be a load. He's on down that road. Yeah, that's
anyway.
Before there was Wicked, there was the Wiz.
So anyway, so I used the Wizard of Oz as an example. I'm like, doesn't that sound like a scary movie? And she's like, yeah. And I said, it's the Wizard of Oz. I'm like, Fox News just told you the horror version, and it's the Wizard of Oz. Like, and that's what you have to realize. And so like that is part of skepticism too. Is like we have to recognize that
when you want to believe something is really when you need to research it before you spread it.
Yeah,
because if it sounds like something like from your mother's point of view. The fact that she goes, oh, that reinforces what I've always been told by Fox.
Yeah.
She should make sure they're telling the truth before she says, well, I hear weird things on Fox all the time. They must all be true.
The skepticism is bruised.
My mom is, as far as
not saying that she's anti-trans.
No. I was gonna say, like, based on Fox News standards, she is like almost like a trans activist.
Yeah. Right.
Like, she's so like.
But the news story she heard wasn't like the way. Well, at least what she digested was not trans person seen in locker room. She's a person went to expose themselves to children. Like trans wasn't even an issue in her version of it.
Right, exactly.
I don't think most people
they may not have, and when they're misgendering and they're making a point of it, unless the transgender, I've been told that transgenderism is not a good term, which I don't. Unless
it's an adjective, so you have to make.
Well, I've been told that like connotation. I've been told that connotation wise, it's disparaging. And I'm not meaning it that way, but the idea of being transgender, unless that is the actual problem Fox News has, they will just ignore the fact and they will just misgender and never like mention the they won't use the word at all. So like my mom was completely unaware of that part of it because Fox News just doesn't recognize it. So why would they mention it? You know what I mean? So unless it's Riley Gaines talking about trans athletes or
right. But I'm saying, like, if you hear a story, go, oh, the world is a dangerous place, and Fox told me a story about how a dangerous place the world is and how bad the judges are. If
so
that's
of course,
playing into the things you want to hear, like, yes, I agree with that. Verify it's true, because especially when you say like it's a story that makes no sense on the surface. You're like, what a wacky story. Make sure it's true if it's a wacky story.
Yeah, and I also get to not to defend my mom, but to defend the idea of bad information in general, of us getting bad information in general. We are inundated with information to a point where you can't confirm everything is true or false, and sometimes that seeps in a way that it like, you might repeat it or and it's really important and it's really difficult when you're getting as much information as we are. Like 100 years ago, you weren't getting nearly as much information every day as we are now.
And I even hear on skepticism themed podcasts, sometimes they'll say, I don't know if this is true or not, but, and then they'll repeat it. I'm like, well, why are we discussing it if you don't know if it's true?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're going to say, let's take it as a hypothetical, because if that kind of thing happened, here's my thoughts. But let's not talk about it like it's true.
Right.
If you don't know yet if it's true.
Right.
Because then that leads you down the road of, well, it may not have happened, but it's the kind of thing he would do. And then you're making stuff up that
kids
is in a fantasy
shitting in litter boxes because they identify as cats.
But that's never happened anywhere.
Sister-in-law was on that one. Yep.
Yep.
She was.
I mean, I would argue that if we could go back, and we've probably all fallen for some stupid story.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like, as back to Matthew's point of try to be better, try to be less wrong today, but so I'm not trying to fault the people who.
I'm gonna shut his camera off.
I need to go use the litter box for a minute, guys.
I am not a cat. Your
Honor,
I am not a cat.
I'm not a cat. I'm not a cat.
That was after the credits scene in one of my hot sauce videos this week. Because when I was setting up the camera, one of the cats jumped up in my chair and was sitting at the table, and I had a little 1 second clip of it, so I stuck it at the end. But I'm not a cat.
It's been so nice, by the way.
I saw that one.
It's been so nice waking up and seeing a new video from you every single day.
It is. I like it.
Every day I'm like, I just like I open my phone up and I'm like, oh yeah, Matthew's doing the videos again.
Look, hey everybody, check out Brooklyn Brothers Food Reviews YouTube channel or Instagram to see the hashtag 31 more days of hot sauce. And I do this because my friend Kelly got so mad back in 2020 that I was saying hashtag 30 days of hot sauce. She's like, don't say hashtag. And I was like, I did it every day because it had pissed her off. So when I posted the very first one on Facebook this time around, I was like, hey Kelly.
Hey Kelly.
Nice.
Look, so the water is turning the frogs gay. Was one of my favorite. And I know it's Alex Jones. I'm aware of that. So his stuff's pretty wild to begin with.
Turning the frogs gay.
Water's turning the frogs gay. Like it's
freaking frog.
It was that was even too much for me. It was, but it was also too much for a lot of folks. Didn't change that now. I think skepticism has even increased people consuming misinformation for entertainment. And I am very guilty of that.
I think that, yes. I think also if you're consuming misinformation for entertainment, the algorithm doesn't necessarily understand the difference. That, no. And so you watching it because it's funny, you watching it because it's funny may send it to somebody else who is not as clear-headed as you to think, the frogs are turning gay because of chemicals.
So you have to watch the debunk videos, that people making fun of those videos. Fit those in. You're increasing the hits of the right channel, not the wrong channel.
I did have an idea today, by the way, and this does kind of lend to. So, Matthew, I'm sure you're aware. You probably remember this, but there have been fans of the Scathing Atheist who hired Kevin Sorbo to do cameos.
Yes.
That's great.
To do the Farnsworth quote.
That's great.
And Logan and I were watching. There's a guy who does hires cameos, and he just kind of gives them like prank prompts. So like, it was today I watched. It was Mark McGrath having to explain to a guy that his wife is pregnant with his brother's baby because they hooked up at a Mark McGrath concert. He's like, he asked me to tell you about this, and the nice thing is that the celebrities are always really like kind of sweet about trying to give this bad information. They're like kind of fun pranks. But I was thinking about mixing those two things together because in the last time Kevin Sorbo had to do the quote, the Farnsworth quote that they do on Scathing Atheist is, we did.
As a man of science, I can assure you, we did in fact evolve from filthy monkey men.
Yes, and so they have Kevin Sorbo say that in the cameos so that they can be played. And Kevin Sorbo said, "I don't know about that." In one of them, like the second one, he did it, he said it, and he goes, "I don't know about that, but whatever." And so I was thinking, like, we could get like, find somebody who doesn't believe that being trans is real, or find someone that doesn't believe in climate change, and have them read for a cameo the best evidence that we can present them, so they have to read it out loud.
Oh, that's
like, that would be a really interesting, like, Instagram or YouTube channel to just have, like,
just to see their body start to like retch from the inside. Like,
no, not even as a cruelty thing, more as a, like, we're going to force you to get this information. Even if you're going to ignore it, we're going to have it on tape that you read.
We're going to have it on tape that you said it.
And so you never heard it.
And then but like sometimes it is a matter of burying your head in the sand, and sometimes it is a matter of, I have family when it comes to the trans thing. I was just on vacation with some family, and I did not engage at all about trans people because it's not worth it anymore. Because every time anyone said anything, they don't say like transphobic slurs or anything, but they'll say, like, they will talk about, like, oh, there's no such thing as really being trans. When I wouldn't engage because I've engaged before, and it's just gotten me really upset, and I've been like, I can present you with some information that I think would be really interesting to you, and they refuse.
I write you a script.
I'm like,
I'll write you a script.
But I know, I mean, I've engaged in emails, and I've said, like, I think this video you'll find interesting.
To make them like really, really mad,
though. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that. So, but I was thinking, like, there are some people who, I don't believe
there's such thing as a man who doesn't like to have objects shoved up his ass. And I know you're gonna deny it and say you don't like it, but Uncle Fred, I know you love it. I know, Fred, that you love to take a shampoo bottle when you're in the shower and grease your ass up and sit on. Don't tell me you don't. Why should I believe what you say? I know the truth. I know.
Do fingers count as objects?
Yes, depends whose they are.
Absolutely.
But anyway, like, so I just thought that would be like an interesting way of, like, because there might be some people who are genuinely ignorant and not, like, because the algorithm misses sometimes. There are, like I said it before, like, I think that there are people, when they talk about, like, why is all lives matter offensive? And you're like, how did you miss 4 years of us being like, this is why? It's not, we're going to focus on breast cancer. Why don't all cancers matter? Like, and we've explained that a million times. And I think that there are people who
bleeding to death. Oh, well, all people matter. I don't need to bring you to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, like, I think that there are people who are just missed by I also think the algorithm isn't on our side as much, but people who miss that. So I thought, like, if we started saying, like, oh, this is a flat earther, we're gonna we just get them to read, as quick a snippet as we can that is, like, somewhat not compulsive, compelling, and we just try to slowly, like, inundate people with bad ideas with good information refuting it, but we make them read it out loud, and we pay them to learn. Anyway,
do God's work.
But yeah. So from my brother's birthday, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, I paid Lee Mazzilli to send him a birthday wish. Lee Mazzilli, for those of you who don't care, was with the New York Mets the first 5 years of his career, and he was really, really good with them. He was a really good player. And a couple of years after he left the Mets, he ended up on the Yankees for 1 year, and he bounced around some more, and then he ended up back with the Mets again for a couple of years. And he had a very good career. He was a good player in the 80s. And when he did the video for my brother, he was wearing his Yankee shirt. My brother's a huge Mets fan. Like, he did it 1 year as a Yankee, and that's his shirt he happened to be wearing. It's like, I could not have planned that better.
Fantastic.
Hilarious. I haven't looked into the pricing on those cameos, but I think that would be, like, an interesting.
Yeah, the good thing is the lower tier guys.
We hired.
They're the ones that are more likely to believe the stupid shit.
Mm-hmm. We hired
the Kevin
Sorbos. I hired Susan Eisenberg to do one for Leah, and she was the voice of Wonder Woman in the Justice League cartoon, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and various other Disney cartoons. She's done the voice for Wonder Woman before, and other characters. But we had met her at a convention, and Leah and her got along really well. So we started her, and her videos like this: "Hey Leah, it's Susan, also Wonder Woman. And your parents wanted me to wish you a happy birthday. And here's what they said about you. You're an activist, you're a singer, you're a songwriter. Do they think I don't know?" I follow your social media. I know all these things.
Oh, that's
It was so
fantastic.
funny. It was
That's
great.
awesome. I would love to do a Dean Cain cameo and have him be like read the script from that
Hey,
episode.
did you hear that Dean Cain joined ICE because he found out he can get in front of a lot of agents?
Also, by the way, nobody talks about this when they talk about Dean Cain starts talking about like being woke and Superman. He is Asian and he was Superman.
Yeah, but do you know the whole story about him being Asian?
Is it also not
His
real?
father was Japanese, but like abandoned him and his mother when he was like an infant or something. Like he never knew his father, so it very much could be hating his Japanese father could play into being anti-immigrant.
It's trauma.
Like he's anti his father. Like it could
Sure.
be. I don't know if it is. I'm not saying it is. I'm not making a claim. Saying, but he didn't grow up with his Japanese father, so he very easily does not associate himself with that with his father. But it could be a negative thing. Like, yeah, I think all Japanese men who come to America and get people pregnant should be thrown out of here.
Yeah,
But
and
also he shouldn't be a citizen.
But anyway, I was just, I just think like he has been also like he's an opportunist. Like that's what it is, right? Like we're gonna.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
he's had no career other than God is not dead or whatever he was in.
One of those.
He was in. I think he was in one of those. Him and Kevin. He's like Kevin Sorbo 5 years later and everything. But he was in something like that, and I feel like. But he's on Fox News. He was on Fox News when Supergirl, which he was on, by the way, he was on Supergirl for the first couple seasons. And then when they started going,
he played her father or whatever.
He talked shit about how that show was too woke, the show that he was on, and then he started like he's the Fox News. He's the Fox News Superman consultant, essentially, like to talk shit about it. When is it Jonathan Kent, that Superboy? They announced Jonathan Kent would be bisexual.
It's Superman's father, but it's also his son's name, John Kent. I think it's just John.
Right, John Kent. Yeah, he is he's bisexual in the comics, and when they announced that for Pride Month, he's like, "Why do we need like gay Superman?" He literally is the guy that they're like, "Oh, we want to talk some shit about Superman. Let's call Dean Cain," and he's just like, "Well, yeah, you want to give me some money and give me some airtime, sure."
He's been in the news over the new Superman movie, complaining that how dare they mention that the immigrant the alien is an alien, and whatever. And then without having seen it, obviously, before he did it. He was in the news complaining about the way that James Gunn was quoted in an article. Like that was enough to get him on the news to talk about what he heard about the article. And I'm sure he was like, "How do I ride this wave? People know who I am, and that Comic-Con money is wearing awful thin. I know. I'll join ICE."
Yeah.
But I saw something recently that it's like they're going to give him like an honorable position, not an honorary position, not a real one. Like he's not like Eric Estrada out on the streets. Maybe with Dr. Phil.
Is Eric Estrada?
He tried to become a cop at one point, not ICE. He tried
to okay. I was going to say I haven't heard anything bad about.
He was on a show like
because of Chips.
He was a real chip. Yeah.
Okay.
Phil Block.
Okay, I was like, I haven't heard anything bad about him.
I didn't mean ICE.
I wasn't entirely sure he was alive still. Also, and I feel like I should not. If I'll cut this if I'm proven wrong, but
or even if you're not, it's boring.
Anyway, so we will probably cut the Mindy McCready stuff, but
because Matthew wouldn't let me get it out.
Yeah, well, and because I think that like if I said anything too explicit there, like it could technically be considered like libel or slander, whichever one is
defamation. Use the general term.
Defamation,
which is usually the legal term anyway.
But I got like skeevy vibes from the story when she died. Anyway, so I thought that would be an interesting way of kind of like pushing some information to the bad guys or the wrong guys.
At least one at a time. How much am I paying cameo fees to get everyone to understand?
Right, all of them.
Yeah. Well, also if you like did it in a way where you posted their cameos and like you could potentially make the money to keep doing it.
Go viral.
Yeah. So anyway, skepticism. I got nothing else.
Yeah. I think the weird. So here's a typical informal logical fallacy: is people making claims that something is true because a lot of people believe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
like, this religion's true because millions of people believe it. No, this one's true because millions of people believe it. Oh, people, they can't all be wrong. They can be. The fact doesn't care about how many people. And
actually, logically, all but one of them has to be wrong because they're incompatible.
Unless
I'm not saying that one is definitely right. I'm just saying best case scenario.
Well, unless you're like kind of Baha'i who say God talked to different groups of people different ways at different times.
Yes.
God is all things, man.
So they're only wrong if they
God
think
is
that
this
they're
ping pong ball.
Omnipresent.
Was it Tommy Smothers used to say, the one thing all religions have in common, they all think they're right. But the exception to that is expert consensus is worth considering. A bunch of all the scientists, 97.5% of scientists say climate change is being increased by man-made technology, blah, blah, blah. It's reasonable to accept that because not the general public majority people said it, but the consensus of experts. So there's a weird anti-logic of people these days who disbelieve something because the consensus of experts say it's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like experts say it's true, therefore I don't believe it because I don't trust them damn experts.
It's like
the current
it's cynicism in conspiracy theory form, basically.
Yeah, the baby of conspiracy theory, and it's like when our powers conform, I am RFK Jr.
That's not really very funny, Matthew. I wish that. Okay, Alex, I'm gonna find some public what do you call it? Public domain erotica, and I'm gonna have you do your RFK voice for audiobooks.
Yep.
Just for audiobooks of it, and so and then he touched her breasts and he ejaculated.
Jesus.
Can you imagine? Like, I actually think that I was telling
oh my god,
Sarah
that fuck.
It would be really funny to just do like
impression. Brainworm in my head.
Different impression.
Someone caught it.
I'm not entirely sure that it didn't have children in there, and I don't have them now.
Actually, after I had my my gallbladder out, it hurt to do that after a while because just so much muscle got cut near my diaphragm. But yeah, I'm kind of fine now.
Good. I forgot that you had that happen. I know that I checked on you for 2 days, and then I got real busy, and I haven't thought about it for 3 weeks.
So I assumed the worst, and then you showed up.
No, I've been talking
here,
to him.
So we're good.
I've been talking to Alex pretty consistently.
Yeah, he has.
So, yeah, no, I agree with you, Matthew, that that is a weird side of skepticism or it's cynicism. It's not skepticism, but it is masquerading as
the clear mirror image, like a skeptic would say. I only believe something I have no knowledge of if the consensus of experts agree.
Yeah.
And they're experts, with valid reason to be experts, kind of thing, impartially, scientific experts, historians, not like a bunch of Bible study experts agree the Bible's true. That's not the same thing. No, but they kind of take that exact thing and say, I'm going to go the opposite way. Every expert says that chemtrails is just water vapor, must be lying. Step 1, lie to us. Step 2, profit. I don't know how.
If it was real, if it was just water vapor, Matthew, then why would states be outlawing it?
That's a good point.
Water vapor, icky.
I should say that
at least one state, Tennessee, outlawed it, which I don't understand exactly how you outlaw that.
I'm getting up there and chasing that plane now.
do not let water condense on this plane when it's in the
funny, every airline goes, well, then we're no longer flying to your airport.
Yeah, exactly.
No planes in your airspace.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say Georgia or Alabama was trying to follow suit on that. Because they have a race to the bottom, and none of them want to lose.
I feel with all the rain we've been having here in the heart of the Carolinas, I need to apologize that it's because I'm an atheist that I don't have the codes to the weather control. Like you get them at shul. Why the hell not?
You're Jewish.
Because they give it a temple, and I don't go to temple anymore, so I don't have the recent codes. So all my passwords.
Yeah, it's an religious Jews. It's not the secular.
Okay, fair. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. But I apologize that I can't fix the weather anymore.
Yeah. See, I thought that the weather was because of all the cloud seeding, and how and that's why
I'm on the space lasers train, so
yeah.
We do both. It's a
so you are
it's
speaking
a
for all the Jews.
it's a well
We do both.
I used to be in the club. I think
it's one of those updating passwords, like in
right.
the doors to the CIA thing in Mission Impossible, where the code changes every 3 minutes. And
I don't have their most recent passwords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm skeptical if you're ever going to really be telling us the truth. Did you really retire?
Even this. I didn't even tire the first time, so I don't know how I could retire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't tire. I sleep too well on a mattress from Mattress Firm.
My sheets rock with my Casper mattress. Oh, we don't have sponsors. I forgot.
I was trying to work in a sponsor spot.
Not yet, but now that we are 3 unemployed guys, I said something about now that you're retired, nobody on the podcast has a day job, and Logan goes, "So you're all unemployed?" And I was like, "I don't know that we would call Matthew unemployed." And he goes, "Well, he doesn't have a job. Doesn't that mean he's unemployed?" And I was like,
"Oh, you sweet."
But he's
I'm an unemployed hairdresser.
Oh my god!
Which I always love that concept because it also implies that you can be an unemployed anything. Do you have to have done it?
Yeah.
I'm an unemployed president of the United States. I mean, I don't currently have that position. So I'm unemployed if relate to that position.
Yeah.
Listen, Vinny.
But I'm qualified. I shot someone on Fifth Avenue once. With a camera.
When Alex
19,
and I,
Mike, they were 19 when I took their picture.
I'm not the one who's constantly defending having sex with 16-year-olds.
Listen to him, Alex. How do we even go out with him in public? Now I'm afraid
carefully.
to deliver the package that you have.
Also, I'm the youngest on the podcast.
You are.
I am the closest to that age.
Oh, now he's justifying it.
Now you're justifying it. Great. Jesus Christ.
I moved the mic and I just hit my head on it.
Oh, Christ.
Mike got head for himself.
Anyway, back to us being unemployed. That might be a good chance for us to start plugging Patreon and all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would.
If we wrap things up right now.
Well, I don't want to plug Patreon until I talk about The Dinner Party.
Sweet.
Have you heard of The Dinner Party? Dinner Party is a new book that's just about to come out. Is it available for pre-order? I'm not sure.
It is available for pre-order.
It's available for pre-order. And you know what? Pre-order means a lot because it's a signal that people should order because it was pre-ordered. Like to make the really good order list, you have to have been pre-ordered. Once you wait for it to build up momentum, it's too late. You've already missed the boat. So, if you want to read sexy, smutty, high-quality writing by one Michael Cole, you should look into The Dinner Party by Michael Cole. Where would we find that?
Michael Christopher Cole. It's on anywhere. Cole. It's any website that sells books. It's not. I'm not in any. Not going to be in any stores yet.
New books, especially, because Edward McKay's 10-year-old books ain't going to cut it.
Yeah,
right.
None of those old dusties.
But if you go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo, any of those,
Family Circle.
Oh, I literally thought. I've literally thought about do I send copies to people who will be outraged and hope that they start a book ban on it? Maybe I wait till it's out and then I start doing that.
No, you absolutely do that because
it's pro.
Press.
Yeah,
like when Kevin Smith was interviewed by the local press about protesting Dogma.
Yeah, that was Oh yeah. So so not only is the Dinner Party out, but I didn't make a big deal of this announcement because it's just it's a republication of an old book with a few new stories in it. It's called Everything I've Got Left, and this is available now, $9.99 on Amazon. And it's short stories, poems, essays. This is available whenever you want. You can get this today if you wanted. It would not come today. Let's not be ridiculous. But with the Dinner Party, if you're watching live, which Matthew's family, it is the reason I say if you're watching live is because the day that this episode goes out to the general public, the sale will be over. But I'm doing a live reading Thursday the 21st, and up until that night, you can buy a copy for $19.99 instead of $27.99 for the hardcover. And just as a promo. But that reading, I'm going to put that in the show notes for all the other episodes that are before it, because it's I'm going to read a highly salacious chapter, and I think it'll be interesting. And I've already got about 50 people that are planning on attending according to RSVPs. And so yeah, all right.
What time is that thing on the 21st?
That is at 7 Eastern. I'm pretty sure. I got to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's 7 Eastern. By the time this goes out,
You'll have remembered.
Yeah, but I'm putting it on my calendar, though.
Yeah. So anyway.
So, you know what? Speaking of people who are watching right now, if you're watching on video, whether you're watching it live because you were notified on Patreon that we're streaming live, or whether you're watching the entire thing or clips or just this very moment on YouTube in the future, like the video, and then we'll know that this is the kind of conversation that you want to hear more of. The ones that get likes are the topics we're going to revisit. So go ahead and like it. Specifically, make some comments and tell us. We read all the comments. I mean, Mike masturbates to most of them. So leave comments so we'll know specifically what we should be talking about, what we should be visiting, where Mike and Alex were wrong. Those are all things we want to know. So subscribe to our channel so you'll know all the videos. Like the videos. Ring the notification bell so you'll know when the videos come out. And more importantly, go to www.patreon.com/talking about the big stuff. Even if you're not going to give us money at www.patreon.com/talking about the big stuff, you can subscribe for the free one just so you can watch the live version. That's what my family does. They don't give me money, but they watch the live feed so they can tell what's being edited out that I say about them.
Yeah.
And the rest of patreon.com/talking about the big stuff, I'm not really an expert in. For that, I would have to defer to someone else on the pod who is more into ear holes than I am.
Sure. So if you are wanting to give us a little bit of money through patreon.com/talking about the big stuff, for $1, you can get the episode early, 4 days early. For $3, you can get the episode early plus some extra bonus content in there. And for $10, we typically have, we have a little chat before we start the topic, and I've been leaving those in. And Matthew's playing with a fucking shark over there. I think Shark Week's over, but okay. So anyway, and that's the $10 a month, not $10 an episode, $10 a month. So really, it's $2.50 an episode. It's not bad on a busy month, on a 5-week month. It is the
price goes down. It's like a special for you, based on how we are rotating around the sun and in where we are in our orbit, and it's very zodiological, but you save money.
Yep. Yeah, and that whole scheme works depending on for any of the price levels. $1 a month goes from 25 cents to 20.
The free level. If it's 5 weeks, then 4 weeks. Somehow it's freer.
Yep. And America, we're in America, the land of the free. So just keep that in mind too.
It's kind of like when drug prices drop 1,500%.
Yeah.
Similar to that.
That's extra free.
Okay. That is hilarious. I have not been as up on the news, but I did hear that one. All right. So Matthew, you got any last?
I would say thanks for hanging around talking about the big stuff. But you know what? Until I check the metrics and see if you actually did, I'm going to withhold my opinion on that.
Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. If you have thoughts or questions or topics you'd like us to tackle in a future episode, drop us a line on our social media channels. Engage with this video when you are now watching it as a VOD on YouTube. Send us an email. We love hearing from our listeners, bringing us topics, because if you leave it up to the three of us, we're going to eventually be talking about underwater basket weaving. So we would appreciate you guys reaching out a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe to Talking About the Big Stuff on your favorite platform. Give us a 5-star rating. Engage with it. Criticize us. We need to grow and be better, and you're going to help us be there. You're going to help us get to that point. It really helps us more to reach out and also to keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more big ideas and more thought-provoking discussions. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep talking about the big stuff.
The preceding podcast has been a Chocolate Diamond Media LLC production. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved.